Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I just looked at the clock before I came out here and it is 6:52 p.m. and it is pretty windy outside and it has been lightly raining off and on, but it's actually been pretty warm today. I just have on my Birkenstock clogs. I don't even have socks on or anything like that. And yeah, it's been like a really, weather-wise, it's been a nice day today. It's been gloomy. I mean, the winter in the Midwest is just so gray and gloomy, and it's kind of hard to get happy and motivated, but I try. I try. And today I got up and made the bed really nice and was like taking some time in the bathroom, like washing my face and, you know, doing some lotions on my face and things like that. And I was listening to Flame and Fortune, my audiobook. I think I have like 30 minutes left until I'm done with it, so I'll be finishing that tonight and starting the book for True Crime Book Club, which is Dark Knight and Aurora, and I'm hoping to finish that in the next 2 or 3 days. I'm going to try to get right through that. And then I want to give like that 2 days, and I want to give I'm the Girl by Courtney Summers 2 days to get those books done in time for January. I may finish those books the first week of January or first week of February. We'll just see. But this next upcoming week. And yesterday I announced the book for Peter's Book Club. And then today I'm uploading it as we speak. I announced the book that Mel and I picked for a True Crime Book Club. So you can go over to Peter's Book Club and you can see what that book is, and I'm sure Mel is probably going to post that either today or tomorrow in the Facebook group as well. So, yeah, and I was just doing a bunch of stuff around the house, and all of that. I filmed a drama video today. I filmed a Peterisms video today. I filmed a long Peterisms video today. Well, I mean long for that channel. It was like 17 minutes talking about recovery. I got 2 questions, one about sponsorship and one about emotional sobriety. And so, well, I got a lot of questions and a lot of people asking me to like talk about a certain topic. And so I addressed those 2 topics within one video. I love talking about addiction and recovery stuff over there. And I'm really trying to do more dedicated videos to that. So I filmed that video. And then Alex went to this baby shower, but he wasn't gone very long. He was only gone for like 2 hours. So when he came home, he was like, do you need to go anywhere and get anything? And I was like really craving Subway today, like a veggie sandwich from Subway. So he ran me up to Subway and I got a foot-long veggie sandwich. And then, which I haven't eaten yet. It's in the fridge. I'm saving it because when I get done vlogging, we're going to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. And and then he took me to the gas station and I got a bunch of crap. I think it was Tammy that commented and said, has anybody told you that you eat like a teenager when his parents are out of town for the weekend? And I'm like, no, nobody's ever commented that to me before or said that to me, but it's, yeah, absolutely 100% the truth. I thought that was kind of a funny comment. But anyway, so I got a bunch of crap. And so yeah. Last night, Alex came home. I was watching, what was I watching? Well, I was doing a bunch of stuff around the house last night and putting stuff away and doing this and doing that. And so I finally sat down and was watching, Poker Face. I finished the 3rd episode, and then I started watching the 4th episode, which has Chloe Sevigny in it, and I absolutely love Chloe Sevigny so much. She plays like kind of like an aging rock star in this episode, but I only got like 20 minutes into it, and I started getting so tired, and so I was like, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna go to bed for a while. I laid down, I don't even know what time it was, 10 or 10:30, and I was like, I'm gonna lay down for just a little while. And I mean, it was, you know, I knew that there was nothing that I really, other than filming some videos that I had to get up early for today, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna lay down for a little bit and then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna watch these shows. And then I also wanted to watch Little Fires Everywhere. But I woke up and I looked at the clock and it was like 3:30 in the morning, and I was like, oh my God. And I had like slept deep. I've been going to bed so early. So I just kept on sleeping through the night, and yeah, got up a little bit early today and was listening to my audiobook and doing some other stuff and talking to people on the phone, and it's been a really nice day. It's been really relaxing. I sat out here and talked to my neighbor across the street for a long time. She and I actually were talking about cozy mysteries, and I was telling her that I'm working on a cozy mystery, still outlining it and working on it. And she's like, well, what's it going to be about? And I said, well, why don't you help me kind of like put it together? I said, this keeps on going in and out depending on if I turn my head to the side or which way. So this might have to be one of those vlogs where you guys just have to listen to it. I don't know. But anyway, I was like, what are things that you look for in cozy mysteries? Because I think there are so many different kinds of cozy mysteries. I was telling her, I said, do you know that like cozy mysteries are kind of like a really big thing? Like people are really reading them now. And she was like, oh, I know. She was like, for years, nobody even knew what cozies were or cozy mysteries were. But she was like, now everybody's reading them. But she said the first thing that she looks for, well, I was telling her that I was finishing Flame and Fortune, and she didn't know anything about that series. I think I'd mentioned it to her before. But she was like, yeah, she was like, I don't know anything about that, whatever. She's like, but it does sound good. So, I might buy her the first book and give it to her. But anyway, she said the first thing that she looks for is location, and that she likes to read books that take place like close to us, like in Indiana, like the Brown County ones. There's a couple that come out of Brown County. Or she likes to read books, cozies that, I mean, she reads like, well, she told me, she goes, I'll read like 2 or 3 cozies in a row, and then I read something else. She likes historical fiction, as like historical romance, historical fiction. She likes that as well. And so she said, I like to look at location. She's like, location of like places I've gone on trips or places that I've read about in the past. So she was telling me she likes to read books that are about Arizona, Cape Cod. She said she really likes to read about books that take place in Arizona. I was recommending Dorinda Jones because Bad Day for Chardonnay, I believe, takes place like outside of Santa Fe, which isn't Arizona, but it's still got that desert feel to it. And we were talking about like why people love them. She's like, I think for me, she said, I grew up reading the Nancy Drew books, and she said, there's kind of this same feeling to the Nancy Drew books. And I said, well, with the characters and the food and all that. She's like, but it's kind of a small mystery that you have to solve. And she's like, I love that about it. So we sat out here and we talked about that for a long time. And then she went on a walk, and our nosy neighbor lady, my neighbor's grandma, she was coming around the corner, and she goes, I need to get on my walk, before this woman came around, and she's like rolled her eyes. So so I went inside, and then yeah, so it's just been kind of a good day. Nothing really exciting. What did I do? I made a drama video, Peterisms video, Peter Does Stuff video, a booktube video, and now my vlog. So 5 videos. The only video I didn't film today was a review video. I don't know if I'm gonna, I want to say scanner. I don't know if I'm gonna review that shredder or not. What did Tanya call it? I was telling Tanya about it last night. We got laughing so hard talking about it. She said, did you really buy she called it industry grade shredder. I said, I mean, yes. I mean, it's this tall, you guys. It is like super heavy. Alex is like, where are you going to put this thing? I said, I don't know. I said, I'll just shred everything, and then I'll, I guess, put it in the basement and store it in one of the corners or whatever. He was like, okay. So I don't know where I'm going to put this shredder. But I don't know if I really want to do a review of it either, So I bought these 2 sound makers on Amazon. Like, one is like the sound of chickens. It has like, it's so silly. I don't know why I'm going to review this. And the other one, I can't remember. Maybe it's pig sounds or something like that. But I thought it would be funny I bought them because I thought it would be funny for my drama channel to have. I'm always kind of looking for silly props. But they came today in the mail. And so I was like, oh, I could review these for my review channel. So I might do that tomorrow. So yeah, Alex is going to this like birthday party thing tomorrow that they have, and but it's only like for 2 hours. I don't know if it's like he and a couple of his like girlfriends and stuff like that. I don't know how, if I'm going to go to that or not. We'll have to see how I feel when I wake up tomorrow. So we won't be doing brunch tomorrow because it's during the time that we would go to brunch, but he'll be home after that. So I kind of was like, okay, if I don't go to that, then I could film videos while he's gone, and then when he comes home, we can hang out and watch movies, or, you know, just hang out together or whatever. So we'll see. See how I feel tomorrow. Sometimes I kind of go through these periods where like sometimes I feel like being around people a lot, and then there are other times where I feel like, well, when it's people like, I mean, I know these girls that Alex is hanging out with tomorrow. It's not like I don't know them, but I mean, they're much better friends of his, obviously, than mine, right? And it's like sometimes like people are always just, you know, will say like, oh, you're being so antisocial, and it's like, I'm not being antisocial. It's sometimes I just rather sit at home and, you know, relax and wear my sweatpants and not do a whole lot, you know, than go and be around people. And I was actually talking about that well, not that, but I was talking about this in my Peterisms video the other day about, you know, it's easy for me in the past to kind of like gravitate between these periods of like needing people a lot and then also going into periods of like isolating. But this isn't that. I mean, when I would isolate back in the day, it would be like where I had gone through like a breakup or whatever, and I'd be like, I don't need anybody, and which was actually what I had titled that video, I don't need anybody. But it would be like where I would go through periods where, you know, I had been hurt by somebody, or I went through a breakup and I just was like, you know what, I can do it on my own. I don't need anybody. That's not wanting to spend time by yourself. I actually think spending time by yourself is really healthy. You know, it's like on Tuesday nights when I go with Tanya and I go to my meeting and whatever, like Alex loves having Tuesday nights alone. Like we've talked about it. And, he's like, I love just like being able to, you know, just kind of like hang out and, you know, listen to music loud. Well, he'll take like, you know, a really long shower and do his hair treatments and all that kind of stuff and relax and, you know, look at TikToks for an hour and whatever. And, you know, he gets to just, because if I'm here, you know, and if like I'm not filming videos, I'll be like, what are you doing? And I'll be like upstairs laying in bed and whatever, you know. So it is nice, I think, to be able to have time alone. And Tanya and I were actually talking about that the other day, because, you know, her husband is retired, so like he doesn't go, he'll like come and check in the kennel like once a day or whatever, but like he doesn't go and do a whole lot. And so she's like, you know, like he gets all this time at home alone during the day, but she's like, I don't really get a lot of time alone. She was like, you know, because there's, you know, somebody that's always like, not just her husband, but, you know, like other family people there, you know, or she's at the kennel and there's people there. And so she was like, that's why she takes her like 2-hour naps in the afternoon. She loves it so much. Actually, was gonna call Tanya and see what she was doing tonight, but then Alex came home and I was like, I thought he might do something tonight, but I was like, are you gonna do it? He's like, no. I was like, well, let's just watch RuPaul's Drag Race or something. He's not gonna do anything tomorrow night either, so we might watch a movie tomorrow night, but we'll see. It smells like somebody's grilling out. I can smell it. I also, like, on Sundays, I don't know why this is, but I'm so protective of my Sundays. I don't know what it is. Like, I love Sundays so much. They're, like, my favorite day of the week, you know? And I love just relaxing on Sundays and not doing a whole lot and whatever. And if I film a video or 2 or 3, you know, like, it's that. But, you know, I don't do a whole lot more than that. And I love just kind of laying low and whatever. And I feel like if I go do something, like whenever we have like, you know, a birthday party or, you know, it's like we'll go to Caroline's or something on a Sunday for like a holiday or whatever. Like I get home and I'm just so exhausted that I just want to like sleep the whole rest of the evening. And Alex sometimes will. He'll like lay down at like 6 o'clock and be like, I'm going to bed for the evening. Like he doesn't even make any excuses about it. He's just like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm going to bed. You know, but he gets up early, so it's whatever. But I'm like real protective of my Sundays too. So Sundays, sometimes I kind of like, when we have stuff to do, I'm kind of like, oh God, like I don't really want to do that on a Sunday, you know? Saturdays, I don't know why, it feels different. I'm like, yeah, let's do it on a Saturday, but Sundays, I'm just like, I don't know. It's a pretty night tonight. Tanya was talking about how she's like, I really need this. She keeps on saying, I want to go to Mexico. I want to go to Florida. I want to go to Mexico. I don't want to go to Florida. I'm ready to book a ticket to Florida. I'm ready to do this. I'm like, well, first of all, girl, you go to Florida like every other week, which she hasn't in a while. But we were kidding each other. And last night, we talked on the phone forever last night. We were kidding each other. And I said, well, just book a trip and go if you want to go so bad, you know? And she's like, I know, I should. And she's like, she's like, this grayness is just getting to me. She's like, she was like, it's just, the sunshine is like, she goes, she's like, I don't mind the cold. Caroline was saying this too the other day, that, you know, Tanya was like, I don't mind the cold. I don't even mind the snow. She was like, but if it was like sunny outside, at least that would be something. And she's like, I'm just like ready for it to be summer tomorrow. And I said to her, I understand that. I said, but I'm kind of trying not to like wish these days away. And I'm trying to be grateful for, you know, like a day like today where it's like warm, where you can go in and out. And, you know, I could sit on the front porch and talk to my neighbors a little bit. And the people that were walking their dogs by, I was drinking my coffee out here, reading meditations and stuff, you know. And it wasn't cold. Like I didn't have to be all suited up and, you know, booted up and things like, I mean, it's been really cold the last couple nights where I've had to have like, you know, to like take Boo Radley out. I've had to like put my Ugg boots on and my coat and scarf and everything like that, right? But put my big hood up and everything. But it wasn't like that today, you know? And so I was saying to her last night, I was like, you know, I'm trying to be, like, take each day. Did it just go out of focus because of the hood? All because of the hood, it went out of focus. Hold on a second. Coming back into focus. So I was saying to her, I said, you know, I'm trying not to, like, wish these days away because you know, is it going to go back into it's like slowly doing it, but it's like slowly ain't it. I said, you know, like, I mean, I could sit here and do like a countdown of like how many days till, you know, summer, and don't think like at times that I'm not like, okay, February, March, April, you know, May, like 4 months until the pool's open. Like, trust me, I've done that, right? But 4 months is, you know, you look and you think, okay, January, December, November, October. I mean, that was, you know, the end of September was 4 months ago. That's a long time. I mean, it's, you know, so even though it seems like it's kind of gone by kind of fast, I mean, we still have a lot of time. I don't want to wish that time away. I want to be grateful for each and every day. And so I have to make the most of it. And it was funny because, like, I still haven't gotten the fireplace fixed, you know? And Tanya was like, oh, I don't know how you deal with that. Like, we have a fire every single night. Like, I don't know what I would do without my fires and stuff like that. And she, every night, like, Tanya, like, lights a fire, makes a fire in the fireplace, and she lights candles I mean, she does, like, make her house, like, really cozy on all of these, like, winter nights and stuff like that. And so I'm kind of like, well, I don't know. But she, like, really struggles with, like, the gray and everything. And, like, Caroline was talking about, she's like, I really struggle with the gray, too. She's like, it makes me kind of so sad every day when I wake up, and I'm, like, trying to get, you know, motivated for the day, and it's just, like, I just look outside and it's just bleak, you know. I mean, it is like the winter of our discontent, somewhat, kind of, you know. But as much as I feel that way, and maybe this is because I've talked about it on here, or I've talked about it with friends and things, is I'm also trying to take each and every day and, like, be grateful for stuff and be excited for stuff and all of that. I've had on my... Well, I mean, I've been talking about this on my Peterisms channel for months now, but I've actually had on my on my daily list. So I've now gone in, and I used to do a written daily list, but I've been doing it on my phone recently. And so like I just like what I don't finish the day before, I go in and I change it and I just put the next date on it. And so it has like, you know, the things where you like on your notes app, you just like fill in the dots. Do you know guys what I'm talking about? Okay. So I've had on there for like the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, start a gratitude notebook. Because whenever I'm doing the gratitude notebook, well, when I do it the specific way, whenever I do this gratitude notebook, I'm always so just filled with gratitude. And I don't ever really know why I stop it, you know? Like I think what happens is I stop it for 2 or 3 days, and then I start it again for 2 or 3 days, and then whatever. But like whenever I'm doing it consistently, like I feel so fantastic. And so I think what like really got me like inspired to do it again, I was gonna say motivated, but I've used that word 50 times already in this video. Inspired to do it again was I looked up Oprah's video about gratitude, her aha moment, and it's where she's talking about the book Simple Abundance that came out, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago. And she starts crying in the aha moment, and she's talking about that she just didn't realize what the action of gratitude could like do to your life. She doesn't say it that way, but she's talking about she just didn't realize how much gratitude could do. And she says, you know, that so you do the gratitude book at the end of the day. And so like at the end of the day, you start off listing maybe 5 or 10 things. You can list as many as you want, right? But you know, you list a number that you're gonna do, like 5, 10, 15 things at the end of each day. In the Magic book by Rhonda Byrne, you list, I think it's at the beginning of the day, you list 10 things and you say, is it the beginning of the day or the end of the day? I can't remember. I think it's the beginning of the day. You list 10 things and you say thank you. You read them out loud and you say thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, in the Simple Abundance book, you do them at the end of the day. And what Oprah is saying is, and there's things that are supposed to be specific for that day. And so you go through your day and it's like you say things that you're grateful for that day. And like today, like, so Joanne sent me this fantastic coffee. It's this blueberry cinnamon crumble coffee. Oh my God, it's so unbelievable. So that would be like one of my things, right? That I would have looked for. Or, you know, that I got this huge Subway sandwich. Like I'm really excited about that. And I know that that sounds silly, you know, but, or that I'm, you know, really grateful that I got to talk to this friend of mine that I hadn't talked to in a long time today, and you know, things like that. So it's like you and she says in there, she says you're kind of looking for these things as you go through your day, because you know, then it's like as you're looking for these things, you realize, oh my God, my day is filled with abundance. Like I have this abundance of things I should be grateful for. And then at the end of the day, you list these things and you put them down, right? And so every day as you're going through your day, you're like looking for things to be grateful for. And it completely changes your perspective of how you look at the world. So instead of getting up and looking at the world as like, oh my God, you know, like, oh, it's gray outside and I'm sad and it's like bleak and I just can't wait till winter. And it's all these things that we're looking as the glass half empty. And you know, looking at all the things that we're not happy about. Instead, we're looking at the world through the lens of gratitude and the things that make us happy, you know, and the things that we're grateful for. And it's a completely different perspective. And I think it's really about changing perspective. And I don't want to miss 4 months of my life, you know. I don't want 120 days to go by because I'm just ready for the sunshine on my shoulder, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just have it speed by really quick. I want to be able to be grateful for each and every day. And, you know, and maybe what I need to do is break out a notebook and start doing a gratitude journal. Like, I guess that's what I need to do, you know? So I'm going to do that. I'm like, as I'm sitting here, I'm like, I want to do something special. Like maybe I'll get online and see. I mean, I've got a bunch of notebooks that I could just do it in, which I should, but maybe I'll get online and a couple people have given me gratitude notebooks through the years. Maybe I'll look at those, and then I'll also, but I just want like a notebook that I can just like list it in. And I want like, you know, I know what I want. I like the notebooks that have the, what do you call it? The metal at the top. What are those called? The legal pads or whatever, you know what I'm talking about? I like those. So I'm going to get one of those on Amazon. It should be here then tomorrow. Then I can start my gratitude book tomorrow. What a good way to put it off for another day, Peter. But I do, like, I really want to, you know, look at stuff like that and, you know, and just, you know, be grateful for the fact that it's like the weather was nicer today, you know. You know, when I say my prayers every day, it's interesting, I've like added something to my prayers recently, and that is that I'm grateful for my relationship with my higher power. And that's like the first thing that I say. It was something that I wasn't grateful for a long time. And I think talking about it in my video yesterday, for those of you that saw my vlog, like, you know, my perspective about that has changed even, you know, and that I now have this relationship with a higher power. And then, you know, I always say thank you for I'm grateful for my life, my health, and my sobriety. And then after that, you know, I go into things like Alex and Boo Radley, my friends, my family, YouTube, the ability to make videos that people want to watch them, you know, my house, my home, food to eat, clean water to drink. You know, I go through all of these things, but I want to start looking at being grateful for very specific things in my life, and I want to be very clear to myself about what those things are. And I think it can only enrich my life, you know. You know what's interesting about this whole thing with gratitude? It's like this lesson that I've like known all along, right? Like, I mean, how many times in videos have I, oh, let me put this down. How many times in videos have I talked about gratitude? For years now? I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there, probably one of the people that don't really like me very well, and they're probably like, oh God, here it is, Peter talking about gratitude again, you know? I get it. It's like something that I have talked about forever and ever and ever and ever, you know? And I think it's something that you can talk about forever and that you can constantly learn. I think what's interesting to me about it is that it's like I'm a believer that gratitude is an action, like being grateful. Like, people are always like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, you know, when you talk about gratitude, like, gratitude is the action of, or gratitude is, you know, being grateful for something. So the action is practicing gratitude, you know, showing that you're grateful for the things that you have in your life, you know. You know, when I work on character defects and recovery, I was always taught that you do the opposite. So like, if you're not grateful, if you're ungrateful for something, what's the opposite of that? You know, humility, showing gratitude, showing how thankful you are for things. And how do you show that you're thankful for things? Well, I think first of all, it's being aware of that, you know, being aware of those things in your life and taking a look at how thankful you are, from the big stuff to the small stuff, you know, and really being exceptionally grateful for each of those things on a regular daily basis. And it doesn't take a long time to do those things. But what I was going to say was, no matter how many years I've talked about gratitude, no matter how many years I've practiced it, I mean, year one of being sober, my sponsor had me make a gratitude list and carry it around. And, you know, he would say, anytime you think about using those things, or anytime you think about, you know, using, pull out your gratitude list and remember that you'll lose those things that you're grateful for if you continue to use. And that was how the whole gratitude list started for me. I mean, I've practiced gratitude lists and gratitude for 28 years, right? But it always seems, in practicing it, at some point, I always stop. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I stopped practicing it and I stopped doing the gratitude. You know, if I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, like, how powerful it is and how profound that doing these gratitude notebooks are, why wouldn't I continue to do it? You know, it's like, why do you stop doing something that is so good for you? Why do you stop doing something that works so well for you? I don't know. It's a question I have to ask myself. Is it that I end up taking the stuff for granted? And maybe that's it, you know? And I don't want to do that, you know? I don't want to take the preciousness and the fragility of my life for granted, all these things that have been given to me. all these blessings that I have. I don't want to take any of that for granted, you know? From the blueberry cinnamon crumble coffee, you know, all the way to my life. Like, I don't want to take any of that for granted. And so I have to be aware of it, acknowledge it, first of all. And then I think that I have to show gratitude and show thanks for those things. And I think, you know, all of that starts with like the acknowledgement and the awareness, which for me is why I need to start doing a gratitude. It stopped, and then the tripod moved. So anyway, I'm going to order the notebook tonight, and then I'm going to start the gratitude notebook tomorrow. Any of you out there that want to join in with me, please do. I think it would be a good little exercise for all of us to do, you know. It'd be a good exercise for me to do. I know that, and I need to get back into that. You know, it's interesting. Any of these things, it's like, any of these things like practicing gratitude or prayer or meditation or these things that help my life that really don't take that much time or effort whatsoever, that are things that I have learned over a period of time that have been profoundly powerful in change in my life. Like, when I stop doing them, like, I can feel it, you know, I can feel it inside, and yet something happens and I stop doing it, you know, for this amount of time or that amount of time. It's like the same thing with gratitude is the same thing with prayer. And if you're not like a spiritual person, it is whatever, you know, but like prayer and meditation, and for me is like, you know, just speaking to my higher power or, you know, whatever. And it's something that I do on a pretty daily basis. Not, meditation isn't always like for me just like reading meditation books. This is going in and out of focus now. Hold on. Come on. I think I may have said that earlier, but about the meditation. But, you know, when I'm having like the conscious conversation with my higher power, you know, on a pretty regular basis, or praying for others, or, you know, whatever, and just talking to my higher power, like, I seem to at least be connected on some level. But then there will be like, let's say a day or two or three where, I mean, I've gotten away from it in the past, weeks on edge, you know, and it's like, I can't figure out like what's wrong, you know, and I start finding myself getting like irritable and restless and discontent, as we say in recovery. And I'm like, okay, like, I can't figure it out. And then like, I'll be talking to somebody in recovery on the phone and they'll say, well, have you been praying? And I'm like, no, I haven't, you know? And you would think like, okay, prayer is not magic. It's not like it's going to take everything away in the world, right? Although I am a believer in the power of prayer, and I am a believer, you know, in the connectivity with my higher power. But when I start doing those simple things like gratitude, prayer, meditation, it's like I profoundly feel like I have this, I don't know, like there's like this ease and this peace and this serenity about me that I'm so quick to give away if I'm not doing those things. And yet I've known forever that those things work in my life, you know? I don't know, it's just like, I mean, it's the same thing with exercise and eating healthy and things like that. You know, I know that eating healthy and exercise, like, I know how good it is for me. I know how great it is to walk down the street. I know how good I feel when I walk down the street and I listen to an audiobook or I listen to music and I come home and I'm like, hey, and I want to tell everybody, hey, listen, I walked for 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh, I was listening to Whitney Houston and I feel so good about it, right? Or like I eat healthy for like, you know, a week and I'm proud of myself and I lose, you know, whatever, a pound and a half. Like, I feel good about myself, you know, when I'm like losing weight and the times that I've been eating healthier and whatever. I mean, it's the same thing. When we're doing things to improve ourselves and we're doing things to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, it feels good, right? So why do we stop doing those things? You know, I don't know. That's the question. I'm not that person that is... I've been driven for periods of time in my life. Like when I wanted to accomplish something, I've been very, very driven. But these things that I need to carry out through the longevity of my life, and maybe it's because, you know, you think to yourself, well, I mean, really doing a gratitude list, does it really affect things that much? But then when I'm doing it, I mean, my husband, you know, he said to me one time, like, when you were doing that magic book every day and doing that gratitude list every single day, that was like the happiest you've ever been, you know, like he said that. And I can remember thinking to myself, oh my God, you know, like that wasn't me reading a book. That was me practicing the action of gratitude on a daily basis. And it was coming out in everything that I did, you know. When I'm praying, when I'm feeling like I'm connected with my higher power, when I'm calling my sponsor on a regular basis, when I'm staying connected, you know, to my support system and things like that, like that's when I feel the best. So why do I allow myself to stop at times from doing those things? I don't know. It's a good question, you know. It's like for anybody out there, I think the question would be like, whatever it is that you do to take care of yourself, whatever that looks like to you, right? Have you ever gone periods, whether it's, you know, a couple days, and it's like we all get busy, right? Like you all get busy. I know a lot of you out there have kids and, you know, partners, and you have jobs, and there's a lot of reasons why we get busy and we can't do these things. And I understand that, right? Okay, so, but aside from that, have there been any of you out there that like have stopped doing those things that are your way to take care of yourself or your way of making you feel better, and then you stop doing those things for like what reason? Like, do we stop doing those things? You know? I don't know. For me, it's a question I'm going to have to ask myself, and I'm going to have to, I mean, I probably need to talk to my therapist and my sponsor about it. It's like, why do I stop doing these things? Is it laziness? You know, when it literally takes 10 minutes to do some of this stuff? 10 minutes to do prayers, meditations, and a gratitude book, you know, that the impact of that is huge. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but it just is interesting to me. I don't understand why I don't do some of this stuff sometimes. Sound of a dog barking late at night. Well, it's not late now, I guess. It's probably like 7 something, but... All right, you guys, listen, I'm going to get off here now, and I'm going to go in and watch RuPaul's Drag Race with my husband. We didn't watch it last night. And eat my Subway sandwich. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Oh my God, I have not had a veggie sub in so long. I am so excited. So I'm going to go in there and eat that. And, but thank you for hanging out with me on the front porch tonight. It's been nice. I think tomorrow it's supposed to like drop again. It's supposed to be like super cold, so I probably can't do it out here tomorrow. But anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Saturday. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want, or your weekend, or your week if you need to. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you, I don't know if it's most importantly, but 3, I think it is. 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. You'll be putting a smile on their face, you'll be cheering them up, making them not feel so lonely, and maybe making them feel like somebody cares about them. So anyway, and you could do that in just a text message, a phone call, whatever. Just reach out to somebody, you know? And can be anybody. So anyway, and also be kinder to one another, love one another a little bit more, and also be kinder and love yourselves a little bit more. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!